chemical properties of alkali metals or 1A group elements. So, in this course first we are going to learn with the first chemical reaction, that is reaction with air. Reaction with air. So, generally if you observe these alkali metals like sodium, potassium are not exposed to air in the laboratories and they are stored under kerosene in the laboratories very carefully, because these alkali metals they vigorously react with air and sometimes they may also cause for explosions also. So, that is the reason why they are not exposed to air and they are stored under kerosenes in the laboratory. They have very high reactivity towards the air. When compared to one substance and the other substance, there might be difference, but generally with comparison of other elements, these alkali metals they vigorously react with the air, children. So, let us see how do they react with air and what are the reactions that happens when they react with air. So, generally alkali metals tarnish or oxidize in the presence of air, forming a oxide layer upon them, so that they are generally stored in kerosene. So, generally when these alkali metals are exposed to air, they react with oxygen present in the air and form an oxide layer upon over them. They oxidize themselves by reacting with oxygen and forms a layer of oxide upon them. So, and the other, they will not react with others when they are exposed to other metals or other chemicals because of this oxide layer. So, that in order to avoid this oxidation, these alkali metals are generally stored under kerosene in laboratories. So, we know that alkali metals on exposure to dry air, they form their respective oxides. Exception over here is lithium can form both nitrides and oxides also when exposed to air. That means if you take lithium in the presence of dry air, if you treat, it can form lithium nitrite. Lithium nitride, that is lithium nitride formula is Li3n, because charge of lithium is +1, nitride charge is -3, and of course it can form, it can also react with oxygen present in the air and also can form Li2O also. So, it can form lithium nitride and lithium oxide also. Whereas the other elements like sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium can react with the dry air and form their corresponding oxides like Na2O, K2O, and sometimes you can write it as respective oxides. In the presence of dry air, the alkali metals will react with oxygen present in the dry air and they form their respective oxides. But if it is moist air, children, moist air means air containing water content, that is water vapor is more in air, then what happens? Then these alkali metals react with moist air in order to form hydroxides, which in return reacts with the carbon dioxide present in the air and turn as carbonates, children. So let me write with sodium as one example. So these alkali metals react with moist air to form corresponding hydroxides, which in return react with carbon dioxide in air to form carbonates. So as example, I am taking sodium and explaining you. Sodium reacts with moist air, that is what will be present in moist air, H2O is present, so that it forms as NaOH, and this NaOH again in return it reacts with carbon dioxide in the air and it forms as Na2CO3, children. You need to balance the equations, but these are the overall products that you get when the alkali metals generally react with moist air, children. They first form as hydroxides, their corresponding hydroxides, which in return react with the carbon dioxide present in the air and they turn as carbonates, respective carbonates. The second important chemical property is reaction with oxygen, children. So let us now write the reaction with oxygen. So remember that these alkali metals can form different types of oxides, that is they can form normal oxides, peroxides or superoxides also. So one of the elements from alkali metals can form normal oxides, some others will form peroxides and some others will form superoxide. In that course let me explain you which will form which type of oxides. So alkali metals on reaction with oxygen, they produce respective oxides. They may be normal oxides or peroxides. Normal oxides means O minus 2 ion will be there. Peroxide means O2 minus 2 ion will be there. Superoxide means O2 minus ion will be. O2 will exist as minus 1 ion. So in this course, lithium reacts with oxygen to form normal oxide, that is lithium plus O2 gives rise to Li2O. So in order to balance you need to keep 2 here, 4 here. So this is the equation. So lithium oxide we will get, whereas if you take sodium, sodium generally reacts with oxygen to form peroxide, children. So generally you will get sodium peroxide. So Na plus O2 gives rise to sodium peroxide formula is sodium is +1 charge, peroxide ion is O2 minus 2. So by crisscross method you will get Na2O2. So this is sodium peroxide. Sodium peroxide. So in order to balance, so 2 is present here. So in order to balance sodium, we have kept 2 in front of it. So this is the equation how sodium reacts with oxygen, and sodium will liberate sodium peroxide. Now coming to potassium, rubidium and cesium, children. So how do they react with oxygen and how do they form the oxides? So potassium, rubidium and cesium react with oxygen to form superoxides, children. Superoxides, that is potassium plus oxygen gives rise to, what is the superoxide formula? O2 minus 1, potassium formula is +1, both get cancelled and the formula becomes KO2. So this is nothing but potassium superoxide, potassium superoxide. And similarly rubidium and cesium also, rubidium plus O2. So in order to balance over here, it is already balanced because 2 oxygen, potassium 1. So rubidium also you will get the same formula, and cesium also you will get the same formula. So in this course, that is the lithium will react with oxygen and produce normal oxide, sodium will react with oxygen and produce peroxide, whereas potassium, rubidium and cesium will react with oxygen to produce superoxides, children. But if you consider these 3 types of oxides, that is normal oxide, peroxide and superoxide, the stability of these oxides varies, as generally the normal oxides are more stable than peroxides. Superoxides are very less stable, still more. That means the stability order of the oxides, follows as normal oxides are greater than peroxide greater than superoxide. So generally the third important reaction, chemical reaction of alkali metals is, children, reaction with water. So as we have earlierly just now discussed during the discussion of reaction with air, these alkali metals on reaction with water, they produce corresponding hydroxides and liberating the hydrogen gas, children. And not only the pure metals but also the metal oxides, that is alkali metal oxides, also react with water or dissolve in water in order to produce respective hydroxides, that is bases. Hence they are called as alkali metals, because their respective oxides dissolve in water in order to produce bases, that is corresponding hydroxides. So how do you write this? Alkali metals generally react with water and produce corresponding hydroxides with liberation of hydrogen gas. The liberation of hydrogen gas. So let us write the example of lithium plus H2O gives rise to lithium hydroxide plus H2 gas. So in order to balance, we have 1 oxygen, 3 hydrogens over there. So in order to balance is 2 if you keep over 2 plus 2, 4 hydrogens, 2 2s are 4 hydrogens, 2 oxygens and 2 over here. So we will get lithium hydroxide over here. And with the liberation of hydrogen gas, children. So generally the alkali metals react with water to produce corresponding hydroxides and with the liberation of hydrogen gas. Not only alkali metals but also alkali metal oxides, that is lithium oxide if you take, it will also react with water in order to produce lithium hydroxide. So total we have 2 oxygens, 2 hydrogens and 2 lithiums. So in order to balance, we will keep 2 in front of lithium hydroxide. So we can say that either alkali metals or alkali metal oxides, they generally react with water in order to produce corresponding hydroxides. But if it is alkali metal, they will produce hydrogen gas also. If it is alkali metal oxide, they will produce hydroxides only. And if you take the reaction of these alkali metals with water, it is very fast reaction, children. Generally in alkali metals, that is lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium and cesium. So lithium generally reacts slowly with water when compared with others. Sodium reacts fastly or quickly or readily, you can write. Potassium reacts with flame. Instead of quickly, you can write vigorously also. So potassium even reacts with water by producing flame. And if you keep rubidium and cesium in water, they just explode. They just explode. The reaction of rubidium or cesium is very vigorous with respect to water, and they will explode the beaker in which they are reacting with water, children. So if you see the reaction of water or reactivity towards water with respect to the alkali metals down the group is generally increasing. So we can say that generally the reactivity towards water of alkali metals generally increases down the group. The vigorous nature of alkali metals towards the reaction of water generally increases down the group, children. So the next important chemical reaction is reaction with ammonia, children. Reaction with ammonia. Liquid ammonia we will take. So generally these alkali metals dissolve in liquid ammonia and forms corresponding amides. For example, if you take lithium, when it reacts with liquid ammonia, it forms Li2NH. The name of this compound is lithiumide. And sodium will react with liquid ammonia in order to form NaNH2 plus H2 gas liberation, where NaNH2 is sodamide, children. So how we got the formula of sodamide is sodium is +1 charge and amide is -1 charge, both get cancelled and the formula becomes NaNH2. So in order to balance it, you have so 2NH3 if you keep over here, 2Na, so 4 plus 2 6, 3 2 6 and 2 sodiums, so you have to keep 2 over here. So in such a manner these alkali metals will react with liquid ammonia and produce their corresponding amides. And sodium will liberate hydrogen also along with its corresponding amide. So next important chemical reaction is reaction with halogens, children. What are halogens? Fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine are called as halogens. So how do these alkali metals react with these halogens? Let us learn. So generally the alkali metals react with halogens to form MX type of halides, where M is alkali metal, MX type of halides where M is alkali metal and X is halogen, children. Halogen. That may be fluorine, chlorine, bromine or iodine. So why they form MX type of halide? Because we know that alkali metals charge is +1 and halogen charge is -1. According to crisscross method, both get cancelled and we will get which type of halides? MX type of halides only, children. So as example, if you see, lithium will react with chlorine gas in order to liberate lithium chloride. So in order to balance it, we will to clip 2 over there. Similarly, Na plus Cl2 gives rise to 2NaCl. Similarly, so on. So generally we can write lithium plus halogen X gives rise to lithium halide. Sodium plus halogen gas gives rise to sodium halide. Next, potassium plus halogen gas gives rise to potassium halide, and rubidium and cesium plus halogen gas gives rise to rubidium halide and cesium halide respectively. So among these all halides, children, this lithium halide is covalent in nature due to the small size of lithium, very small size of lithium. Generally the lithium halide acts as a covalent compound, it is covalent in nature. Rest of the all halides, that is sodium halide, potassium halide, rubidium halide, cesium halide, all these act as ionic halides, that is they have ionic nature. They have ionic nature, they split into ions, whereas lithium chloride or lithium bromide or lithium iodide, respect to lithium halides, will act as covalent compounds. So that we can say the covalent nature of the halogens of alkali metals decreases down the group, whereas the ionic character of the halides of alkali metals increases down the group. So that is the point you have to remember over here. And other than this, the potassium halide, rubidium halides and cesium halides generally they can still react with excess halogen gas to form polyhalides like trihalides or pentahalides. Trihalides or pentahalides. That means if you take this Kx can again react with another halogen molecule or halogen gas and it can form potassium trihalide. That is Kx, it can still react with halogen gas to form Kx3, that is a trihalide can be formed. Similarly, it can form pentahalides also. Whether they may be trihalides or pentahalides, they can form polyhalides. Only potassium, rubidium and cesium halides, they can still react with further halogen molecules in order to give polyhalides like trihalides and pentahalides children. So this is the reactivity of alkali metals with corresponding halogen atoms. So next important chemical reaction is reaction with carbonates children. So generally these are carbonates, or you can write as carbon dioxide. Generally these alkali metals react with carbon dioxide to form M2CO3 type of carbonates. This formula has evolved children like this, that generally alkali metals will have a charge or oxidation state of +1 and carbonate ion have a charge of -2. So by crisscross method we will get M2CO3 type of carbonates from alkali metals, where M is alkali metal and carbonate group it is. So carbon dioxide will be linked with alkali metal in the form of carbonate group. So M2CO3 type of carbonates we will get from alkali metals. And as examples, if you take lithium on reaction with CO2 gives rise to Li2CO3. Similarly sodium, you can balance the equations children. So we have what carbonates? Li2CO3 we have, and Na2CO3. Potassium will become K2CO3. Next rubidium, Rb2CO3 and CS2CO3, cesium carbonate. So these are the carbonates that are obtained from alkali metals. Among these all carbonates children, generally lithium carbonate is very reactive towards the thermal decomposition, that is easily decomposed. The carbonate lithium carbonate can easily decompose, and other carbonates are resistant to thermal decomposition. But lithium carbonate can easily decompose children and produce carbon dioxide gas and lithium oxide respectively. So among all the carbonates of alkali metals, lithium carbonate Li2CO3 is easily decomposable, that is Li2CO3 decomposes and form LiO plus Li2O plus CO2 gas. Whereas other carbonates are resistant towards thermal decomposition, resistant towards thermal decomposition, and order of thermal stability of alkali carbonates will follow this order, that is cesium carbonate is more stable than rubidium carbonate, more stable than potassium carbonate, more stable than sodium carbonate. So order of stability of the corresponding carbonates of alkali metals or thermal stability of the corresponding carbonates of alkali metals follows this, and the thermal stability of corresponding alkali metal carbonates increases down the group, children. Next important chemical property is reactivity of nitrates of alkali metals. So generally alkali metals forms M3N type of nitrites or MnO3 type of nitrates or MnO2 type of nitrites with reaction of nitrogen gas. And example, if you take lithium can form lithium nitrate, and of course lithium nitrite also. Whereas sodium can form only sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium. All these can form only corresponding nitrates, that is NaNO3, KNO3, RbNO3 and cesium NO3 respectively. So only nitrites are formed. Nitride is especially formed by lithium only. Other elements, that is other alkali metals, will not form this nitride, children, nitride form. And if you see, among all these nitrates, among all the nitrates of alkali metals, lithium nitrate decomposes to form lithium nitride, nitrogen dioxide and oxygen, whereas other nitrates decomposes to form nitrites, corresponding nitrites, children. So let us see one example over there, how this lithium nitrate will decompose into lithium oxide, nitrogen dioxide and oxygen, whereas other nitrates will decompose to form nitrites. Decomposes to form lithium oxide, NO2 and O2, whereas other nitrates decomposes to give nitrites, children. So now let us write with an example over there. So generally the lithium nitrate will decompose to form lithium oxide, Li2O plus, nitrogen dioxide plus oxygen. So in order to balance, we need to keep 4 to 4 over here. And other metal, alkali metal nitrates like sodium nitrate or potassium nitrate or rubidium nitrate or cesium nitrate, all these nitrates decompose to form corresponding sodium nitrite, potassium nitrite, it is KNO2, rubidium nitrite and cesium nitrite respectively, along with liberation of oxygen gas. So here we will get corresponding nitrites. When we take alkali metal nitrates and we will undergo decomposition over here, then we will get corresponding nitrites of that alkali metals along with the liberation of oxygen gas. So besides these important chemical reactions, children, we have some other most frequently asked chemical reactions also regarding alkali metals. Those include reactivity of sulfates of alkali metals. That is, we know alkali metals generally forms M2SO4 type of sulfates, M2SO4 type of sulfates, children, M2SO4 types of sulfates, that is Li2SO4, Na2SO4, K2SO4, Rb2SO4, CS2SO4 similarly. Among all these sulfates, children, generally the lithium sulfate is covalent in nature, as we have said in the nature of the halides only. Other sulfates are generally ionic in nature, and the stability of the sulfides or sulfates of alkali metals decreases down the group. And if you see another important reactivity, that is this reaction of alkali metals with mercury, children. Generally these alkali metals react with metal mercury. Alkali metals react with mercury to form a compound called amalgam, children, amalgam. So any compound that is formed by the reaction with mercury is called amalgam. So these alkali metals generally they react with mercury in order to form respective amalgams, that is sodium amalgam, potassium amalgam, lithium amalgam. In such a manner alkali metals react with mercury to form amalgam. And also, as they are most electropositive in nature, alkali metals react with other metals also, to form alloys. Generally they are used in the formation of alloys, children. Alloy is nothing but a mixture of two or more metals, or as these alkali metals are also metals, they are mixed up with other metals in order to form as alloys. And last one, These alkali metals also undergo reaction with acids in order to liberate hydrogen gas, children. As we know that generally metals react with acids to produce hydrogen gas, as alkali elements, that is 1A group elements, are also most metallic elements. They react with acids in order to produce hydrogen gas. So, alkali metals reacts with acids vigorously or readily to produce H2 gas. To produce H2 gas, example you can take sodium plus H2SO4 gives rise to Na2SO4 plus Na2SO4 plus H2 gas. So, in such a manner they may react with any acid to form corresponding salt and they liberate hydrogen gas, children. So, these are the most important chemical reactions that an alkali metals would participate in different chemical reactions around them, and we have discussed the chemical properties of alkali metals and their corresponding compounds, their chemical nature and how they vary with respect to different alkali metals down the group, children. So, in our next session of our class, we are going to discuss some important compounds of alkali metals, their preparations, properties and uses. Thank you, children.